Welcome to TYT Sports, everybody. Jason Rubin here with you. So J.J. Watt had, needless to say, a spectacular 2014 NFL campaign. And there's a great video here that just shows that off the field, he seems to be a lovable and enjoyable guy to be around. Check it out as a little kid swats the J.J. Swat.
Do it again. Do it again.
I like seeing this from NFL players, especially when it comes to the kids. I don't know, would Ndamukong Suh, would he get swatted by a little kid on the sideline, or would he go step on the little kid's calf?
I don't know if he would play this game, but that's what makes J.J. Watt so good, is he's able to do everything he did, you know, essentially an MVP candidate if the Houston team makes the playoffs, but does it without being dirty. I mean, it's pretty rare that you ever hear anyone say that J.J. Watt's dirty.
No, he's a very clean player. He tackles clean in a game where they will flag you for anything in the NFL in 2014 and moving forward, but that leads us to the J.J. Watt for MVP discussion. Personally, I don't think J.J. Watt is the MVP. Still think he's going to finish second or third, but there's about 2 to 3 major reasons as to why, one of which the Texans didn't make the playoffs. And I think if you're the MVP of a team, your team should have to make the playoffs. You should be in playoff contention because the big comparison going into the MVP voting is going to be Aaron Rodgers or J.J. Watt. It seems like those are the two front runners for the award, but according to so many sources, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. And so when Aaron Rodgers got injured in the Week 17 game against the Detroit Lions, when he left the field, he was off, that entire Packers team changed. And if Aaron Rodgers didn't come back, there's a good chance that Packers team loses that game. Aaron Rodgers has had an unbelievable season along with J.J. Watt. He had his consecutive streak at home without throwing an interception. He had, I think, 6 bad quarters all year. But in terms of J.J. Watt, there is some statistics on his side that would make you say he should be the MVP. Here are some of them. If Watt played for the Browns, Jaguars, Raiders, or Titans, he would have been the 3rd leading scorer on the team. The only counter I have to that is those touchdowns he had when he lined up as tight end. I do believe if you line up DeMarcus Ware or Jason Pierre-Paul or any highly effective athletic defensive lineman at the tight end position on the 1 or 2 yard line or on your goal line, and you throw it up to him, or you use him as a decoy, like they just got to catch it. And like it's a lot easier said than done. It's not like J.J. Watt's the best route running tight end in the league. He's a defensive lineman, and of course his athletic ability is insane. But like his 20.5 sacks, you can't argue with it. It's amazing. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think this is his 3rd straight season with 20 sacks, or he's had 60 sacks over like the last 4 seasons. And he's just racking up tackles for losses, 29, 50 quarterback hits, 4 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. Look, it's not that J.J. Watt shouldn't be the MVP. It's just that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Take J.J. Watt off the team, the Texans still don't make the playoffs. Take Aaron Rodgers off the team, Packers don't make the playoffs. It's that simple. So, Dan, I'm not sure if you have anything to chime in here for against the Aaron Rodgers versus J.J. Watt debate, but in terms of the projected number of votes, according to CBS Sports, Aaron Rodgers 24.5 votes for first place, J.J. Watt 16.5, and then they have Brady and then Romo, and it gets, you know, after 1 and 2, it gets interesting, and there's a lot of debate over who finishes where in the voting.
Well, for Romo, the tough part is it's hard to, you know, we've had trouble with this all year. It's hard to give it to any one player on that team because Romo's been amazing. This is maybe his best year as a pro, but, you know, DeMarco Murray's been amazing, and he's the whole reason that team doesn't melt down at the end because they keep giving him the rock. But also the offensive line has been amazing, and the coaching has been amazing. So, you know, that's more of a team award than maybe an individual award. But I would agree with you. I think you have to give it to Aaron Rodgers because if I had to watch Matt Flynn play one more drive, you know, that team just falls apart when Aaron Rodgers isn't in. I don't think there's any team in the league where if you take away their quarterback, it's instantaneous that the team falls apart. It
Yeah.
really is. Like you could watch. You knew they were losing that game if Aaron Rodgers didn't come back in. You knew. The guy was in for one play. He got sacked for 7 yards. They came right down and scored, and it was 14-14.
He's a field general. There's no doubt about it. And the Packers are still up there with a heavy favorite to make it to the Super Bowl. And the path goes through Seattle, but there's one game in Green Bay. Yeah. The divisional round playoff games. So whoever has to meet Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, that's not a fun matchup. But I also found it very interesting that CBS Sports has been doing their projected 2014 NFL MVP after the conclusion of each week. Now, you can't jump to conclusions. Here's why. After week 1, projected 2014 MVP, take a guess. Who do you think they had? Week 1.
Peyton Manning.
Matt Ryan, who had a great week 1. That's why you can't judge off 1 week of football. After that, it's Peyton Manning for about 2 weeks, then Phillip Rivers for about 3 weeks. Yes, from week 4 to week 6, and CBS Sports is not even close to the only place who thought Phillip Rivers was going to continue to have an MVP season and be up there. There was a 3-4 week stretch where he was playing MVP football, but of course, then week 7, 8, 9, 10 hit, and the Chargers started to run into some problems, especially offensively. So after that, they start throwing up DeMarco Murray, Tom Brady, and then once week 11 hit, everyone started to jump on the Aaron Rodgers train and ride that all the way home through the conclusion of the season. So in terms of the other players on the MVP voting, you're exactly right on Tony Romo, on DeMarco Murray, and the offensive line, and Dez Bryant. If you're going to give an MVP to the Cowboys, an offensive MVP, it's got to be a 4-way split between the offensive line, Romo, Bryant, and DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray, I think, and Romo's gained a lot of respect from Romo haters, especially this season. And I don't know if I think I would still put DeMarco Murray ever so slightly ahead of Tony Romo in terms of MVP voting, because he did pass Emmitt Smith's rushing record. That's a historic franchise record for the Cowboys. This is a lot of praise for the Dallas Cowboys. You don't see this often from TYT Sports. But yeah, so there you have it. Who do you think is going to win the MVP? Do you think J.J. Watt should win the MVP? Do you think it's wrong that only quarterbacks seem to win the MVP? And, list your top 5. Who do you got? 1 through 5 is the best players in the NFL from 2014. Leave your thoughts there, which is the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to TYT Sports.